So if you're curious as how to build Myers, the first rule of thumb is you're going to need something much like my other builds in terms of to slow down the game. Now, a lot of people here would be thinking, okay, best perk to slow down the game would be Ruin. Now, I recommend Ruin on a few killers. I don't recommend them on everyone, but I recommend them on a few killers. For example, I don't recommend Ruin on Wraith. I recommend Haunted Ground on Wraith instead, or Devour Hope, allowing you to move throughout the board and take advantage of the 0-meter heartbeat until you ring your bell. Now, this being said, it would be a good choice to just step up right now and run Haunted Ground. Not Haunted Ground, sorry, step up straight away and run Ruin. It's not too bad, alright? It's safe. Ruin could last, as long as Ruin gets you out of tier 1, that is the important thing. Now, alternatively, instead of just running Ruin, you could go for another regression perk. But then again, let's just step back and talk about some fundamental facts about Myers, okay? Myers moves at 105% movement speed. He has a 6-meter heartbeat. He's pretty slow, 105. You move at 100% as a survivor. When Myers stalks you for a period of time, he then becomes stage 2. Stage 2, Myers moves at 115% movement speed, and he has a 16-meter heartbeat. Sorry, I was too busy thinking about Michael Myers in stage 3 before I even got there. So he has a 16-meter heartbeat at 115% movement speed. He is the fastest survivor for the smallest... Words are difficult, chat. He is the fastest killer at 115 with the smallest heartbeat. Now, in terms of, yeah, the Billy moves at 115 as well. The Billy can run in a straight line with a chainsaw at 230%. You're absolutely correct. The Billy can run Doom and Death and Grave and go faster. But Myers has a 16-meter heartbeat. The Billy has a 32-meter. Myers and Billy travel at the same distance, at the same speed, while walking, except one has a 50% smaller heartbeat. Now, I don't know about you or quick math, 50% is a lot. Take advantage of the fact that this man already has a smaller heartbeat and stack a smaller heartbeat on him. But before we get into that, let's talk about Myers stage 3. After he stalks you for a period of time in tier 2, he will become stage 3. Now, with stage 3, Michael Myers will be able to move at 115% movement speed, same movement speed. He will be holding his knife upside down. At the same time, he's going to be able to vault windows 10% quicker, as well as have the longest lunge in Dead by Daylight. It goes a good distance, and then you'll notice he pops it out a little bit further at the end of the animation, giving him an extra couple of inches, because every guy wants that extra couple of inches when they're playing Michael Myers. Right, what I was just saying is you want to take advantage of the fact that this gentleman already has the ability to have a smaller heartbeat, as well as he vaults faster while in tier 3. Now let's just take a step back. We got something to slow down the game. Let's look at bang for our buck. We already have a 16-meter heartbeat. There is an add-on here. We can run the Dead Rabbit. Dead Rabbit reduces your terror radius by 25%. Now let's do some math. How many times? 25%. 16. 4 is the answer. So you go 4, 8, 12, 16. Really light math. So that'll take 4 meters off his 16-meter heartbeat, giving him a 12-meter heartbeat, which is very, very small if you just wanted to run this add-on. Now, me personally, I don't like running the Dead Rabbit. I don't like relying on add-ons when I play Killer. I feel add-ons make the game too easy, and I want more of a challenge. Hence, you'll probably never see me use an Ebony Mori if you come to my live stream, unless I'm doing it for a daily, and then I'd probably just use an Ivory. This being said, we're going to put right down here, Monitor and Abuse. Now, let's take advantage of the fact that Myers has a 16-meter heartbeat. It's now going to go down to an 8-meter heartbeat. 25% at 8. That's really easy math. We're going to take another 2 seconds off. This is now a 6-meter heartbeat Michael Myers. You heard me. This is a tiny heartbeat Michael Myers, and he can be absolutely devastating in terms of he can get really, really close to you. In fact, the fact of the matter that he is moving so fucking fast at 115% when you're 100% movement speed, he's going to be able to pop around corners and scare the absolute shit out of you. But before we go into too many details with this, right, we're going to take a step back here and we're going to put this up to Bamboozled. Alright, so Michael Myers has a 16-meter heartbeat, like I just said, in tier 2. He now then goes down 8 meters due to the fact that he has Monitor and Abuse. So that 16 meters goes to 8 meters, 25% at 8. It's 2 meters, therefore making a 6-meter heartbeat. Right, so let's take advantage of the fact he already has a 10% faster window vault. Having a 10% faster window vault, if I choose to run Bamboozled as well, if I vault a window after a survivor, I will be instantly on their ass. I go through a window 25% quicker. I could stack it with Fired Up, but you'd be an absolute mad lad to run it with Fired Up. Fired Up is a really dodgy perk, and it relies on the survivors actually doing objectives, and your job is to stop them from doing objectives. Therefore, I do not really like perks like Blood Warden. I do not really like perks like Remember Me. These are kind of perks I don't like NOED, that benefit you for playing poorly. You don't want to play poorly. You're all about performing well, getting the game over, moving on to your next game, and hopefully performing well in a constant cycle of not getting shit on. Does happen to everyone though. If we're going to move on to our final perk right now, what fundamental mechanics haven't we covered? We have not covered the fact that Myers has nothing to speed up pallets in his favor. Now, I recommend Brutal on Myers. A lot of people would say, oh no, Goose, Enduring would be the top tier perk here. Now, you could be right. If I was running this kind of build here, keep in mind, Myers 16 meter heartbeat's going down to 8 meter heartbeat now. Small heartbeat. If I come running around the corner and I pop tier 3 on a guy and I down him, Jeff's going to be able to make it to the pallet and pull it down in time. If Jeff takes the window, I'm going to be able to bamboozle the window and M1 Jeff almost straight away as well. There's no increased recovery time. You're going to have a stupidly long lunge. He's not going to be able to react in time to such a small heartbeat of you coming around the corner. Alternatively, though, this is a very tight Myers build. You could be running Save the Best for Last and Play with Your Food, depending on how you want to make your character. If you run Play with Your Food and Save the Best for Last, you need to be very, very switched on and very smart about when to pop your tier 3. If your obsession is dancing around in front of you because they know you've got stacks of Save the Best for Last, just stalk them. Scare them. If you have to pop tier 3, pop it on your obsession and then rotate elsewhere. You can snowball absolutely amazingly with it, but at the same time, I wouldn't choose to do it. Now, let's take a step back. There is this new perk that has just came into Dead by Daylight. I believe it is called Dark Devotion. Let's have a little bit of a look. Dark Devotion is quite a cute perk. If you hit a survivor, that survivor takes a 32 meter heartbeat with them for 20 seconds, providing it was your obsession you hit, and you have no heartbeat for 20 seconds. Now, this is good if you know where you're going. If you know that you hit Megan and she's going through the center of the map, and knew that there's a hotspot on that generator all the way down the left, and you just rotate straight to the left, as long as Meg's not on SEAL Team 6 telling her allies, you're going to be able to get down there, hide your line of sight for as long as possible, and then get a hit. It does not hide your light. You still have a bright red light in front of you. It does not hide your light like Tinkerer. Remember that. This also being said, I think you should lose your light when you have it as well, just like Beast of Prey. But then again, the perks might kind of overlap, etc. But it is how it is. If I was running this build, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back. Infectious Fright would be a good idea for running Michael Myers. Keep in mind, when he goes to tier 3, he actually has a 32 meter heartbeat. So he goes from 8 meters. Sorry, his tier 1 is 6 meters. His tier 1 is 6 meters, then it goes to 16 meters, and then it goes to 32 meters while in tier 3. While he's in tier 3, Modern Abuse will obviously come in. That 32 meters will now become down to 24 meters, but if you chose to run the Dead Rabbit, you're going to get moderately increased, so then you get 25%, because it's moderately on both sides, 25% of 24, and then you're going to have a much larger heartbeat, so you're looking at roughly around about 7 seconds per one, so 7, 14, 21, 28, a little bit more, 8. So you're looking at about 8 meters, putting you all the way back up to 32 meters, keeping you at the comfortable, stable pit. So this is going to, quite frankly, counter Monitored Abuse while you are in tier 3. Now, if we're going to take away the Dead Rabbit here, ladies and gentlemen, and have a little bit of more of a play, more of an investigate, you could be running this correct. You could run that, and you can run Infectious Fright and Knockout. And when you down a survivor, other survivors will scream, and you run over. Keep in mind, you only have 1 minute in tier 3. The chances of Michael Myers getting multiple downs in tier 3 is very slim against a good group, as he has no way to get through pallets without, having to break them. He's not Legion, he's not Nurse, he's not, Spirit. There's no way to get past it. A good survivor will be able to mind game. You've got a stupidly long lunge, and a lot of people will try and lunge around the corner while the survivor runs another loop, or baits the pallet and then runs around instead of vaulting the pallet, and you're getting that little bit of a clip. Obviously, bad ping can really hurt you in the long run, but still. Now, I'm going to take a step back. I've said some notable mentions of perks that you can run to help better suit yourself or better benefit the game on your side. But realistically, I personally do not think he needs Bamboozled. He already vaults the window 10% quicker while in tier 3. That is scary enough. I choose to take off Bamboozled and replace this perk with Distorted. Now let's recap for a second. I've got Ruin to slow down the game. I don't even want to run Ruin. Do you want to know what I want to run? Yes. I'm going to tell you, chat. I'm going to tell you. I want to run Corrupt Intervention on Myers. A lot of people be like, you're a madman. Ruin's better. It'll last for longer. Yeah, and sometimes it would last for longer. This means the 3 furthest generators away from me will not be able to be worked on for 1 minute and 20 seconds. This means survivors are going to most likely flutter or clutter towards the closest generator that is activatable, meaning that there's going to be multiple people on a generator activating Distortants. Now, as long as I get out of tier 1 in the time that this is staying there, this is going to be very good in my favor. If we're going to be able to get closer, get out, we're going to be able to pop tier 2, right? The plan then is to stalk a survivor for as long as possible, but not pop tier 3. I have Mono and Abuse giving me an 8-meter heartbeat. Having an 8-meter heartbeat, this is going to allow me to come up on 2 survivors that don't have line of sight on me at a jungle gym that are going to be working on a generator. I'm going to be able to walk straight up to them, pop tier 3, M11, and then be able to go to the pallet, brutal strength the pallet, and chase the other one. Now I've got one guy on the ground, one guy in chase who's going to be throwing everything because he's absolutely shitting himself. Faster vault. I can see when enduring would be a good option in that current situation, but personally I find brutal strength very good because Myers can be very intimidating while he has tier 3. If a survivor, you know, baits out a pallet, 9 out of 10 times you can go straight through and M1 him. Very rarely will a survivor bait out tier 3 Michael Myers. You have to be versing a pretty damn good survivor for them to actually be able to do that, and even that being said, they'd have to have really good ping to do that, or else you're going to be able to lunge throughout the wazoo. In terms of notable mentions for add-ons, if you wanted to run the best possible add-ons under this situation, it is these 2s right here. Yet again, it is a yellow and a green, just like the Spirit, in my opinion. I know you can have silent husking on the Spirit, but I prefer double activation time. If we're going here, we have the Dead Rabbit for a smaller heartbeat alongside James Myers Memorial. This is going to allow me to stalk a lot faster, moderately quicker, every single survivor, allowing me to get tier 3 at the click of my fingers and having it prepped, ready to rock and roll. The biggest tip I can give for Michael Myers is get out of stage 1 as soon as possible, and never drain a full survivor. Drain him until he has a bee's dick left, or a very small portion, so you can pop tier 3 on him come shit hits the fan, unless you're going to eliminate him. If he's on his final hook, then obviously fully stalk him, get all the juice you can, and then hook him off. But I like to always leave a millimeter or a little bit in, just so I have enough to activate it in case he wants to try and do some crazy play, because he knows I've popped tier 3 after stalking him for quite a period of time in the game. You have notable mentions like the Tombstone piece, but I don't really like running something that can eliminate a player early, such as a Mori as well. I like to play the full game out. Very rarely will you see me use the add-ons to actually play with this, but this is a very powerful build. Keep in mind, Myers can get looped throughout the wazoo on certain maps that have really good jungle gyms, and you're going to need to know not to overcommit. If somebody's running you around an obstacle and you can only get a millimeter of stalk out and you can't bait it well enough, just leave. Go somewhere else and try and make a better play elsewhere.